What is going on, everybody? My name is Conor Lawler. Welcome back to another week of Weird News Wednesdays. This is the Heroes for Hire podcast. We are back again talking all the strangest news stories from around the world. We talk about the news that the real news is too afraid to talk about. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Mr. Shaun. Me and Shaun, how's it going?
I'm good, Conor. I'll be honest. I'm on edge because I had technical issues before this, where my headphones just stop working every so often, which, for doing a podcast where you're talking to someone, not ideal.
What we're doing now is we're playing the podcast version of Russian Roulette.
Yeah, where one of our conversations, Conor's going to say something, I'm not going to hear it, and I'm just going to come down on one side of the fence on that.
I want you to come hard as well. I want you to go for it. Whatever topic you're deciding on, I want you to come in.
100% agree, Conor.
I'm really against murder. Well, I'll tell you something now. When I cook a fucking cabbage, this is what I'm doing, right?
Get really oddly specific. Try and lip read through Google Meet. It'll clearly go well.
So this is Weird News Show. What do we do here?
You have spent the week gathering all of the weirdest news stories from around the world. You're about to read them all out to me, a man who has been too busy delivering hot takes on various topics to look at any weird news.
Do you have any hot takes that you want to let us all in on before we start?
ABBA is fine.
A hot take can be wrong, to be fair.
Well, ABBA's fine at best, that's all I want to say.
That's one of your worst takes.
One of my worst takes?
Yes.
Right. Paddington Bear, excellent.
Weird that they got lumped in with the Queen.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that?
There's a Jubilee thing in Paddington Bear. Also, apparently Jeremy Clarkson's mum designed Paddington Bear. That's apparently a thing. Yeah, apparently that's a thing that happened.
Right, I've turned on Paddington.
No, I'm still firmly in the Paddington camp. He's just a very good bear.
Shaun, we got to start off weird news this week.
If you are kind and polite, the world will be right, Conor.
And if you're kind and polite, you could give us a like and subscribe.
Fucking well
Whatever
done, sir.
Podcast platform you're listening to this on, it would really help us out. But when we die, don't put us in weird images with a bear. Maybe
No. Yeah,
just with my family.
If anyone knows where my family is, that would be great, because I have lost them. Send me the deets.
So, Shaun, we are starting this week with a Chinese man who had a bit of a rough old time. He had a rough journey. Look, he was going to pick some pine nuts, and things happened, and he ended up 300 kilometres away. As Chinese man rides on a hydrogen balloon to pick up pine nuts, ends up drifting 300 kilometres.
Why is that the optimal way to pick up pine nuts? What the fuck?
A man who lost control of his hydrogen balloon while harvesting pine nuts in China has been found and rescued after landing in a forest 2 days later and more than 300 or 186 miles away from where he started.
So I assume... Okay, so he was using the balloon to get up in the trees to pick the nuts?
Yes,
and then wind...
ultimately, I don't want to tell this man how to do his job.
You're not a pine nut farmer, Conor.
There are things called ladders.
Think of the labour cost of a ladder, though. Let me scenario. Here's how every ladder scenario goes: is that you pick up the ladder, you move it somewhere, you stretch it up to the second level. It's not high enough. You have to do it again. You climb up, pick 4 pine nuts or some shit. Then you have to climb down, extend it even more, and then go back up and pick more pine nuts.
And then when you get down and you pick it up, it's like horizontal, and then when you swing around, you accidentally hit someone and knock them over. It's an absolute nightmare.
You're trying to cross a busy highway, and all these lads are trying to deliver glass behind you.
You don't know what's going on. So the man surnamed Who has been working alongside a colleague on Sunday when they lost control of the balloon while his colleague jumped to safety.
Wow.
Who missed his chance and drifted away.
That's a very narrow window with the balloon where...
First of all, bastard. You're never talking to him again.
Oh, yeah. But, at least, if 2 of them were in the balloon, it'd be heavier and they might have landed sooner as well.
Yeah, so he's actually he's even more resentful.
He sentenced him to death right there.
I can only assume.
He cut all the sandbags off the side as well before he went.
It's one of those moments where you learn a lot about someone. I think for the rest of their lives, there's just a look that he has from, in my time of need, you fucking left out a balloon at the last second, didn't you? You didn't even care if I made it.
Have you ever read the book Touching the Void?
No.
Well, it's a very similar situation. These two men were mountain climbing, I believe, on Everest.
Right.
And
is this the movie 127 Hours? Because I've seen that.
Well, it's quite similar, actually, because they fall down a crevasse and they're like tied together.
And one has to eat the other?
No, he has to cut the rope to save himself and leave his friend down, but his friend has survived halfway down the thing. I haven't read it in a while. I think both men lived. I think. There's a thing.
This is the best.
There's a thing about eating snow. You shouldn't eat snow.
Tune in this Saturday, we have our book club. It's our exclusive first episode launching.
Shaun talks about a book he read when he was 14 and has not touched since.
And tries to remember the plot.
I think there's a lad and he goes to magic school or some shit.
Oh, that's so weird. I was about to say Harry Potter.
It's the default book reference, I think.
Of course.
This also...
some lad, there was a bunch of elves talking trees. Everyone was white. That's set.
I can't stress enough how white everyone was.
In my head, that's how it worked.
And that's the only way I'll cast it as far as I'm concerned.
That's a little joke about the Lord of the Rings show. If you haven't been keeping up with the drama, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, first of all, look, the casting and everything in that show is fine. That's the most expensive show ever made. And I love Lord of the Rings. I'm not fucking keeping up with that. I couldn't give a shit. It's a lot. It's like this isn't a movie or TV show review show, but it's so. What's the point? I'm just watching Game of Thrones. It's fine.
Although people complain that elves all have to be white, they're an elf. It's fine.
Yeah. Like if that's the problem you have with this world,
that is the line I draw. Okay.
Not the terrible Irish accents that all of those fucking not hobbits have. Also, this story, right, with this balloon going haywire. This has unearthed something in me because I used to have a deep-seated fear of hang gliders because you're not in control. Where one gust of wind, you're 200 miles away. Oh. I couldn't wrap my head around that as a kid, so that terrified me.
But I'm going to retort and say there wouldn't really be a lot of situations as a child that you would be put in that you'd say, oh no, I'm accidentally in a hang glider. Like, I think it's something that you'd have to actively pursue.
That's true, but what if I was in a situation where I had to hang glide? Like for, say charity or something like that. And
let's get the 6-year-old boy.
I would know, because I'd happily hang glide if I knew what was going to happen. But the fact that wind can just go... We've all had a kite hit a tree. I don't want that to be me.
In my head, you always had a kite in a tree.
I've consistently launched a kite and it's gone into a tree every time.
Even in a field, no trees around, the string has snapped and it's gone into a tree. That really does sum up my childhood, apparently. He was not found until 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Once again, this was Sunday that he left.
Yeah.
He was not found until 9 a.m. on Tuesday when, after tracing his mobile phone signal, a rescue team made up of more than 500 people from the local police and fire departments spotted his balloon stuck in a tree, Shaun.
No! That doesn't justify anything
I don't know if that proves anything for you, but there you go.
I'm still baffled by how balloon is the optimal way to collect pine nuts. Is that an industry standard?
It just can't be.
I
don't understand.
I'm going to Google balloon pine nuts. This story is going to be the first thing to come up.
Well, obviously. I mean, you should really just Google how to collect pine nuts.
That's true. How to collect... Okay, dumb question, right? And I want to ask this question. I don't want you to laugh. I don't want you to judge me.
Okay, but the listeners are also here, so we're all in this together.
Do pine nuts definitely come from a pine tree, or am I mistaken? Connor, has the audio cut out? Is that what's going on?
It's the headphones.
Oh, it's the headphones. Okay, yeah. Fair enough.
So you're asking me, do pine nuts come from pine trees?
I'm just saying, maybe there's different sources of them, but apparently...
No, I actually think they grow them like carrots.
Oh, really? Like in the ground?
Yeah. I actually think that, yeah.
Well, a nut isn't an almond is a seed, and a nut, look, I'm having a stroke. Pine nuts come from pine cones. Title of my autobiography. They come from pine cones. So the easiest way is to lay them out and let them dry out on their own, apparently. So why is this man in a balloon?
Just wait until they fall.
I guess so. Because surely they'd have to fall, because otherwise they're fresh and like...
No, he's floating along in his balloon, picking them off. Why would he need a balloon to pick them up off the ground?
How big is this balloon? Like, because
it has to be not very big to be in the forest.
He has to get in between trees and shit.
I feel like we're being crazy, but this is the stupidest way to collect pine nuts.
How have they never... Why haven't they addressed in this article the way that this man chose to collect pine nuts?
I'd say we are missing something really obvious. That's like, obviously that's how you do it, but from my vantage point, it takes way more effort to fucking bring a balloon into the forest.
The hydrogen cost alone would fucking negate your pinecone operation. Yeah. Also, I found a picture of these lads doing the pinecone picking, right? And what I have, imagine the basket of a cherry picker, right?
Yeah.
A big hydrogen balloon up top of them, floating them up. And then they have a big pole that they use to get the pine nuts off the trees.
I have a counter suggestion.
Go ahead.
Stand on the ground, big pine nut cone, just poke it.
Just poke it. Shake the tree really hard.
Shake the tree really hard.
Let a bull loose in the forest. Try a load of red fabric around every tree. He'll wear the shit out of him and all the pine cones will fall.
Walk 3 kilometres backwards up a hill. Take out a hang glider, glide into
Connor.
the forest.
No.
And on your swing past, big pole, swing it.
Or just baseball bat strike the tree. It'll all fall down.
But you're hang gliding at the same time while swinging the baseball bat.
You got 2 hands, don't you?
I've got 2 hands.
Then you get stuck in the tree, and then it's a much simpler rescue operation.
And then you got to get another hang glider to come, another baseball bat to hit you out of the tree.
And then there's a terrible bridge of hang gliders all the way to the start of the mountain. And then someone just walks across those and gets you out.
Bit of a stroll, and then pine nuts. All you have to do is sacrifice at least 50 people, and then you get all the pine nuts you want in that specific tree.
How's your fucking Cobb salad taste now that you know how it was made?
By the way, who told the newspaper I almost gave up? Thanks to the rescuers, otherwise I wouldn't be alive. Which, not great. When he says I almost gave up, he means jumping out of a fucking balloon, doesn't he?
He probably does, yeah. But he's in a tree.
Why?
Climb down the tree as well. Eat some pine nuts, why don't you? You know?
Who told interviewers he had been cold and hungry during the ordeal? You don't say. However, he was largely unharmed, suffering what were described as only minor injuries to his waist, which I can only assume was when the other lad pushed him out of fucking way and was like, "No, fuck it, I'm going."
They were wrestling to try and see who could jump off first.
The use of hydrogen or helium balloons to harvest pine nuts has become more common in China in recent years.
Oh, here we go, okay.
And there are occasionally reports of pickers being swept away, though not usually as far as Hugh. In 2019, 2 men picking pine cones in China reportedly lost control of their balloon and drifted 10 kilometres before landing safely and being arrested for breaking aviation regulations.
Gas. Now, lads, you shouldn't have been doing that in the first place.
Come on now, lads. Feet on the ground. You know the rules. You can't leave the fucking ground.
So wait, are these unsanctioned pinecone harvesters then?
But what a terrible way to keep under cover. I'm going to pull out a giant fucking balloon and fill it with hydrogen, and the police won't see me.
Yeah. And where do you get these as a civilian? Where do you get these massive balloons and gallons upon gallons of hydrogen?
Hydrogen is so expensive, I can only assume.
I mean, it sounds expensive, doesn't it? That's what they make bombs with.
Sounds smart. And that's how I know it's expensive.
Here's how I get put on the list. How much does hydrogen cost? Hydrogen costs around $16 per kilogram. So that's like $16 a litre. That's a lot of fucking hydrogen you're going to need to fuel. That's your standard weather balloon. How big is a weather balloon? Oh man, we're looking at this pure financial side of this business and how it just does not make any sense. Yeah, I'm going to need the volume of the balloon, please, Google. Of course. 200 cubic feet. Right. So that's... his feet and kilos, it's a whole thing. It's a lot of money, is what I'm going to say. I think the maths term is lots. Yeah. What's a heap of hydrogen cost? Lots. That's nuts.
A heap of
Fucking heap of hydrogen.
Think of hydrogen more. Think of more than what you thought of. That's how much.
Yeah, you'd want to make some amount of money harvesting the pine cones is all I'm trying to say.
Just a big pole and a ladder, and just set up the ladder, walk up it, swing the pole, knock a few down, walk back down, move the ladder 3 yards to the right, repeat the process.
Make friends with a squirrel, get him to throw him down to you.
Get him in a balloon.
No, you're locked in on the balloon thing.
The balloon is locked in. We just need a different pilot.
I've paid for the hydrogen already.
I've got gallons of it.
It's not like helium. It doesn't make your voice funny. It just makes you dead.
It'll just blow up. That's all it will do. Oh, man.
It's like the Hindenburg. Was that the big one that exploded?
That was the Hindenburg, yeah, you are correct.
One. It's like this
not a lot is said about that, but they actually were picking pine nuts.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh, the humanity. What, too soon?
By the way, what does he say to his family? Like, 3 days pass, Sunday to Tuesday, he just never comes home from work. And the guy's like, he flew away on the balloon. He could be anywhere.
The guy who escaped from the balloon, who jumped off, surely he told his family, like, what happened. Or did he, like...
See, would you though? Because
was he so ashamed that he was like, he said he was fleeing the country? Like, he's starting a new life. He wants nothing to do with you anymore.
He said he doesn't love you anymore.
Yeah, just torch this man's life.
He fucking hates you specifically, Jimmy. Right?
Yeah.
Little Jimmy, I fucking hate you. No, sorry, he hates you.
He said you're his least favourite child. Not just his child, but any child in the world you're his least favourite.
He's ever interacted with.
Any child has been better than you.
He like comes back through the door 3 days later, like, family, I'm home. They're all just giving him the icy look.
They just say they start inflating another balloon and like package him into it.
It's like, get the fucking oh man. So we're going to move on to our next piece of news, Shaun, and I have the biggest piece of drama, some hot goss, if you will, coming out of the very exciting world of chess. Because there's been rumours going around that the world of chess has been rocked by the biggest scandal in years. It involves artificial intelligence and anal beads.
If you'd given me 100,000 guesses, I would not have predicted where that headline was going.
There's no way that headline is going to pass my eyes and not be put into this show. That's the only way we're doing this. Because
look, first of all, there has been actual chess news as well.
Go on.
Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen was beaten by a 16-year-old prodigy.
This is the story, Shaun.
Is this the story?
This is the story.
I just saw the headline. I didn't know about the anal beads.
How do you know about Magnus Carlsen, world chess champion?
He streams on Twitch every so often.
Oh, okay. So last week, world chess champion Magnus Carlsen withdrew from a major tournament with a $350,000 prize money after his unexpected defeat by underdog Hans Niemann. Norway's Carlsen announced his withdrawal in a cryptic tweet. And what he tweeted was that he's leaving the competition, but then he tweeted a video of Portuguese soccer manager, Shaun, I'm going to need you to bear with me.
Go for it.
Jose Mourinho.
The special one.
The special one. Yes. Is that all you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go. And Jose has a very famous video of him coming out after a match where a referee cheats him out of a game, or he feels like the referee has cheated him out. But you're not allowed to say anything, because then you'll get in trouble with the soccer authorities. Because they'll say you can't bring the game into disrepute.
The incorruptible soccer authorities, of course.
Of course, they've never accepted a bribe in their lives. And so they're like, you're not allowed to say stuff. So he comes in and the interview's like, what do you think about that late penalty? Jesus, it fucking really cost your team. It wasn't really a penalty, wasn't it that? And Jose says, I prefer not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. Right? That's the quote.
Saying a lot without saying a lot there, Jose.
So Magnus Carlsen, he tweets out this video stating that he was leaving the competition, leading to all sorts of drama, all sorts of goss. what could lead world famous, Shaun, world champion Magnus Carlsen, who a man who I just learned about 4 minutes ago, to leave this competition. Other big names in the sport declared Nyman's play a bit sus, is what they've said.
Right. Did they talk to Kasparov? Connor?
No.
Right.
Suspicions were raised further when Nyman admitted to cheating twice previously. Chess.com issued a statement that it had banned Nyman from its site over his alleged cheating in the past.
Interesting. Chess.com, the authority on chess as far as I'm concerned, by the way.
Yeah, of course. I assumed.
They let you play anyone and then they rank you, and sometimes it's humbling is all I want to say.
How often have you been on chess.com?
Every so often I'll just go on chess.com to see if I suddenly became a prodigy. I haven't.
That's good. Scrabble is the one for me.
Scrabble? No one would ever play Scrabble with me.
See, I had the app on my phone that you like play other people.
I remember this during lockdown.
And I had like a 150 win streak.
Yeah.
and then I just missed a day. I had like 7 games going at once against 7 other people.
You had, because you were talking to me about this, and you had created like characters and you hated them. Like you wanted to destroy them with Scrabble words. And you did for the most part.
And so I played 7 games at once for about 6 months. And then I think I lost 1 game to the guy who was like ranked 2nd in the world, and I just never played it again.
That's fair. Always leave on near the top.
I was like 150 and 1, and I was like, nah, that's enough. You
left and you like went out to your family, and you were just like, if I speak, I am in trouble. So.
I'm in trouble. I'm not going to say it, but if I speak, I am in trouble. So chess enthusiasts online have since gone on to speculate that Nyman's may have been cheating with computer assistance and anal beads.
See, again, it pops up in the story. You don't often want the anal beads to pop up, but here we are.
So several of the tweeters, Shaun, the old tweeters, they have come out and they have said currently obsessed with the notion that Hans Nyman had been cheating at the Cup chess tournament using wireless anal beads that vibrate him the correct moves.
No. No, he wasn't, was he?
Chess fans speculated that anal beads could transmit messages from an accomplice.
Have they just decided that this is what he did? Is there evidence man accused of cheating? I'd say there's something up his arse, to be fair.
I mean, to be honest, they've definitely accused 9 million people of this before, and this is the only time everyone's like, wait, fuck it, you know what? Could be the fucking anal beads.
It's like it's a theory. Like it technically would work.
Anal bead John says this about literally everything that ever happens.
If there's one check that I can guarantee you they don't do at the chess championships, it's a strip search. So he might get away. Why would you need to? Surely. No one wants to win at chess that badly. I like the idea as well that this is a strategy he used on chess.com as well. Like he was just on his own.
Like he's at home.
He's at home. He's controlling the button himself. And look, whatever makes you enjoy chess, go for it, says I. That sounds like a great experience.
But I feel like if you're going to use it in the tournament, there's no need to use it at home. You can just chill out. Like you can cheat your own way.
No, because you don't want to be. You don't want to feel like you're doing something different at the tournament, because you might
if you're used to the vibrations,
that's it.
You want to keep them around.
You just need it it needs to be like a sixth sense, if you will,
because you don't want to be sitting there going ooh, like every time something happens.
No, yeah, absolutely. Or like when the best move is like pawn to e7. You don't want to be looking so excited to make such a banal move. You don't want your
battleship sunk. I'll tell you that now.
Oh, he hardly uses it for battleships, does he? Jesus Christ. Oh, you get that fucking, cruiser? Man, you're getting 5 buzzes after another.
He literally can't get enough every game.
He gets them all in a line. They're a pure straight line. So it's constant.
For no reason. Going to play a game of 5-a-side soccer, am I? Well, jizz. Play the fucking Edelbees, just in case I don't know what to do. Next, get the ball.
Quick round of darts, fellas.
Quick round of playing pool. However, it's unclear if Nyman could be beating the tournament's anti-cheating precautions, which include a 15-minute delay in the broadcast of moves and radio frequency identification checks.
Okay.
So, apart from the ridiculous anal beads theory, people suspect that Nyman's got his hands on Carlson's game plan ahead of time, thereby anticipating his surprise opening.
Chess is fucking bust. We need an update to chess. We need chess 2 at this point, because the game is so optimized that you can play a whole game without ever starting the game. Like just studying moves and what people do and all this kind of shit. That's what the game plans are. We've all seen Queen's Gambit, I'm aware. But they're like, they'll study past chess games and just be like, no, if you do this, you'll do this and you can bait them into this kind of a thing. There's also, have you heard of Deep Blue?
No.
It's not an anal bead brand, but it's a computer that they made in the 90s to play chess against a human. Against Garry Kasparov, who was a Grandmaster world champion at the time. And it got to the point that, because up until then, no computer had ever beaten a human at chess. And so Garry Kasparov threw a fit at their match. So he was like, that computer is playing like a human. And now we've gotten to the point with chess where it's that human is playing like a computer, because computers are just better at chess, it turns out.
But I can kick a computer.
Oh, you can, Connor.
Yeah.
But can you...
if they're winning, I can just give it a swift kick in the side.
But can you castle one, you know? Can you checkmate a computer?
I fucking... I can turn it off,
Yeah, well...
Plug it out.
It's a bit of a stalemate, so I would say.
If I plug it out, that's technically... I'm not cheating. I just tripped. Just had a little trip over the plug.
Right, and are the anal beads in at the time, or is that part of the...
I put the anal beads in the computer for no reason, just to vibrate the shine.
Right in the USB port.
Just right in, but I got it upside down first time round and turned it around. That's a mad thing.
That's an excellent bit to do with anal beads, pretend you put it in the wrong way first. What's happened to this show? We used to be nice.
We used to be nice. But Shaun, this is what happened, right? Someone had a theory, and this is a good one, right? So their theory is actually even deeper than this, right? They think just there's just general cheating. No. The real answer is actually elementary, they say. Now, that's how you know it's a good one. Magnus cheats. He's always had anal beads up his own butt, maybe for the past 10 years. That's how he's been dominating the entire field of players. There was a slight dip during the time he played Caruana because he was so drunk he couldn't feel the vibrations and he ended up losing the game. His team decided to turn up the vibrations to the max, and that's how Magnus survived all the rest of his encounters.
Right, it broke through the drunken haze. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, recently, Magnus realises anal bead computer design he created had been stolen, but he couldn't come clean about cheating, so he drummed up the excuse of being bored, so he wouldn't lose the World Championships, who he suspects to Nepo. Nepo stolen the design after being humiliated in the prior contest, Shaun.
Interesting.
It's all starting to make sense.
So in a way, if Magnus did speak up about this, he would be in trouble.
If I speak, I am in trouble was actually a double bluff. He's talking about there's been wrongdoing on the far side, but he would literally be in trouble.
I mean, this is the real game of chess now, isn't it? It's who's going to out anal beat who.
Little did he know the real thief was the cocky supervillain Hans. Hans employed the anal bead tactic against Magnus. Being new to use the device, however, Hans didn't know that the signals he sent from his beads interfered with Magnus's device. So, I mean...
They're on the same
Magnus
frequency.
Feels unprompted vibrations, starts making some wrong choices, and that's how the other guy wins.
It's an airtight theory. The one caveat to this being true is if anal beads are in use, because if not, it's lunacy. But if the anal beads are the key to winning a chess tournament, then that's airtight. There's no flaws in that whatsoever.
Nyman, I will say, has vehemently denied that he cheated against Carlson, and even
did he specifically deny having anal beads in?
He said he would go so far as to play fully naked to prove the fact.
I mean, it's a step in the right direction, but depending on commitment, There could be a lot of stuff up there, is all I'm saying.
So, among the 10 players participating in this particular cup, Nyman was the lowest rated and the least likely to defeat the world champion, who was on a 2-year unbeaten streak.
He has
So, he's the rookie. He's the rookie outsider underdog, and he's after beating the world champ.
It's unprecedented.
It's a scandal like no other I've seen.
It's true, but it's a very low, big picture. It's a low stakes scandal, to be fair.
Would you stop? That's perfect for this show, Shaun. I want low stakes in the most ridiculous way.
You want low stakes but high risk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want the story that everyone takes really, really seriously, but ultimately is dumb as fuck.
I think, right, first of all, this kid, I feel bad that Twitter has just decided, no, he's a cheater and this is exactly how he did it.
Yeah.
But also, he needs to create a character out of it and lean into, the villain arc. I think
you're thinking of wrestling.
Maybe I am. No, you know who I'm thinking of is Maximilian Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's exactly the same as Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh!
In what way?
He's got an eye that can see through other people's cards.
He has a few things in a particular eye.
Few sockets filled with, lads. And that's an ancient Egyptian artifact that lets him see through cards. And this guy...
I'm seeing Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. This is all completely true. He's making perfect sense here.
This is the first 12 episodes as well. It's ridiculous.
You've solved this.
Yeah. And so this man has a millennium anal beads in his bum, and they let him see the chess future. And the future of chess is bright, let me tell you.
It's dark in there, but it's bright on the outside.
Look, from all darkness comes a light, Connor.
From every tunnel has an exit. You know what I mean?
Oh, Jez, it does. We all know that.
Look at you just need to look hard enough. Okay. But yeah, that scandal is going on in the chess world, Shaun, just to let everyone know. I'll keep you updated if there's any further updates. But
please do.
Obviously, Magnus has now come out and said if he speaks, he's in trouble. So we don't know. Maybe there's nothing to it. Maybe it's just a kid who beat the world champ on a fluke. But
he just got lucky. Maybe.
And this could be the champ just sour grapes. And I think the problem is, though, sour grapes is when you go, he's a dickhead. He got lucky. And I don't mind that, right? I don't mind saltiness in sports or sore losers because it's more funny. And also happens in every single sport. I've never seen somebody come out and be like, anal beads.
It's the only logical way to do it.
Guys.
Sleepless nights, being like, how did he manage it?
Just saying, he's a fucking lucky prick and kick the shy out of him next time. Play another 99 times, I'll beat him 99 times in a row. That's all you have to do. You can be salty in that way.
Yeah,
you don't need to.
But you don't need to fucking put anal beads in the man. Not that Magnus
put that on a man.
You don't want to put that on. It's a whole... You can just say, I had a bad day, he had a good day. That can be how it ends, you know?
Yeah, but he's after pulling out the competition now.
Just don't pull it out too quickly is all I'm saying.
Whoa, Jesus, lads.
It's like starting a lawnmower.
Do you think it makes the USB sound when you put
it gives you a warning for not removing it safely.
You gotta go through it and say remove device.
Jesus Christ.
We're moving on, Shaun, to our next piece of news. This is a small one, but it might change the way you're seeing food, seeing life. This is a new invention that I thought you might like to hear about.
Alright, hit me with it.
Spoons and bowls that use electricity to make food taste saltier are to go on sale in 2023.
Fuck this. This is the worst thing I've ever fucking heard of.
What are you talking about?
Energy crisis, motherfucker.
Yeah, but at the same time, everyone maybe eating a little bit healthier.
Use salt! Sorry. Use salt, people. Just use salt.
But what if salt is not healthy? What if you want the taste of salt?
Low sodium salt. Low
what?
sodium salt.
Last April, there was a report that they had development of chopsticks that can make food taste saltier without actually adding any salt. At that time, the developers at the university suggested similar technology could be applied to spoons and bowls, and they clearly wasted no time doing so because we now have the spoon and the bowl.
Who's funding this? Like, why is this where our scientific efforts are being diverted to?
The world is on fire, but fuck me, do we have salty food from now on, lads?
Jez, how many wine gums will fit in this goose? What's going on here?
This new tableware uses a simple, mild electrical current to enhance the salty flavours of food. This works by passing a specific wavelength of electricity from the surface of the utensil to the food, which keys into the ions, such as sodium chloride, that triggers our sense of saltiness.
I hate this so much.
What are you talking about? I thought you'd be amazed.
This isn't going to be a device for the people either, Connor. Alright? It's going to be wankers in, like, restaurants who have more money than God and just want to fucking taste something different and feel something for once in their lives. That's who is going to have these bowls and spoons.
So what happens is you pick up the food, whatever it is, rice, right? You haven't put any salt on the rice, right?
I don't salt my rice anyway, maybe controversial.
I know you wouldn't, but maybe you want saltier rice when you taste it, right? So you have a bowl of rice, you pick it up with the spoon, okay?
Okay, I'm still with you.
And the rice is bland, plain and simple, right? Just plain rice. Right? I was trying to pick something that was just no taste. The electricity wavelength goes into the rice when you pick it up on the spoon. And what it does is, it brings out the ions, such as sodium chloride, and in doing so, these ions get all bunched together, so then when you put it in your mouth and they touch your tongue, the salty taste that isn't actually there exists on your tongue, and therefore, it tastes saltier.
What if it's too salty? What do you do then? What if your spoon runs out of battery mid-meal and it just changes the whole fucking experience? What's the bowl doing in this scenario?
The bowl is also vibrating.
Why? If the spoon is capable of making food salty, why does the bowl need to vibrate as well?
Yeah.
No, you're not answering me, Connor.
Well, look, I'm trying to find the answer, Shaun. The spoons and bowls had ample space to fit a battery and also increased the range of applicable foods to be enjoyed, such as soups and curry. Ever had a soup? Thought maybe a bit more salt?
Yeah, I put salt in it.
Hand? You go right to hand. Maybe you're in a field. No salt.
I would have pre-salted my soup if I was taking it out in the field.
I've got a lovely big bowl that vibrates the salt into it. I don't need to go look in the press.
You can just eat stuff without salt as well. I hope people... Like, you can just... Like, it's fine. Yeah. It's not going to kill you. Get over yourself.
But what if my bowl could vibrate the salt into it? That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
You could just... No, it wouldn't. Because, like... but you're not bringing a bowl that vibrates out into a field and you have to plug a 9-volt battery into the bottom of it. How do you wash this? How do you wash these things?
Dishwasher.
You want to throw that into a dishwasher?
Blow the house up.
Yeah, you're gonna make a hydrogen bomb. Is what's going to happen because it's going to vibrate the water molecules.
Taste 1.5 times saltier.
That's How do you scale that?
That's a 150% saltier rating.
Use a tiny bit of salt, then. Why not? I hate this. I hate this so much.
I thought this was going to be the greatest invention of the 21st century, and you've shat on it.
Yeah, and rightly so.
What are you talking about?
The pine nut balloon is a better invention than this yoke.
That's a bit harsh. No, that is a bit harsh.
Stand by it. I absolutely stand by it.
That's the worst invention of the 21st century. This is the best invention of the 21st century.
No, just use a normal spoon. Use a normal bowl. Eat food. Die.
Jeez, you sound like my therapist.
Yeah, you need to get a new therapist, my friend.
Yes. The man on the street.
Yeah, just someone who shouts at you on your way home.
Eat food, die.
Thanks, Tommy. You needed that today.
Jeez, fair play to you, lad. Fair play to you. So you're against the salt and spoon bowl combo.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
I think I can convince you. So I'll give you some of the comments, Shaun. Maybe this will turn you around.
Maybe.
Amazing technology.
Wrong.
This is good news for people with dietary restrictions. Can I just shock my brain into thinking I'm not hungry? Okay, look. See, that's not a fucking solution. That's another problem. Okay, I don't like that attitude.
No. Yeah, and like also, like there are low sodium alternatives. Also, just eat stuff without salt in it. Like, because the dietary restrictions are going to affect you in restaurants and stuff like that as well. Yeah. But they're not going to make a batch of food without any salt in it, but they serve it in the special bowls.
Yeah.
They're going to make the same batch of food anyway. And you can
The
you'll
bowl
still
looks
have to deal with
good,
it.
but that spoon is pretty big. I hope they can make it smaller.
This is my other concern, right? Because I'm very concerned about spoon ergonomics. Because, no, legitimately, one, sometimes a spoon is wrong and you just know it's wrong.
Spoon is too big.
Spoon's too big, spoon's too small, spoon wrong shape, spoon too long, spoon too short. But,
We have one spoon in our house that's perfect. The other ones are a bit big.
we used to have a full set of perfect spoons. Now we're down to about 2 after various moves.
Risky.
So it's tough.
Risky business.
It is tough now. But then also, do you remember like the McFlurry spoons, like the massive ones?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what this is going to be. And it's going to be heavy because there's 2 fucking AA batteries inside of it.
I'm sure someone who licked 9-volt batteries as a kid came up with this.
Yep, I absolutely did that as well. And it's not fun, let me tell you.
I wonder if this technology can be used towards eating in VR. In virtual reality.
I know what VR means.
I was explaining for the others, Shaun, for God's sake.
That doesn't make any sense, though, because you would just be eating air and getting shocked.
Yeah.
But getting no nutrients. People will literally die from that. Humans are idiots.
I'm pretty positive that's a horror movie I've seen.
That's a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, they got like hooked into VR and then they just eat nothing but the salty air.
Yeah, and then it cuts back and they're like wasting away in their gamer chair. All the RGB lighting.
Someone said, how do you wash it? And then finally they said, that's interesting. I hope they sell it. I won't buy it.
Like, market price for that has to be over 100 quid.
Oh,
per
easy.
item. Like, and then, maybe I'm jaded, right?
Yeah.
Which might not have come across in this conversation.
I don't think it has.
But they're gonna do a subscription bowl and spoon. Like, it's gonna be a monthly subscription that you pay for to get your bowl and spoon to work and to vibrate differently.
Vibrate differently.
Now, it might help you cheat with chess. That's fine, but
you combine the two together. You're laughing.
You're vibrating at both ends at that point. Like,
you're in the middle of a game. I might stop for a bit of rice. Can I stop? I have a 15-minute break. Suddenly, I know all the moves.
What if you have like salty Cocoa Pops? That's gonna ruin your day.
It's not going. Well, obviously, you only use it for the stuff that you need salt on.
Lad, did you just say that? Like, just get salt for that stuff then. There's a reason.
But like,
we were fine. We were fine without this for so long. We've been grand. Food was mastered years ago.
I love the idea, by the way, that in this scenario, me and you have both gone on to Dragon's Den and this is our product. You're really against it.
And you're just trying really hard to sell it to them.
But you're on my team. They're just looking at us.
That's where I'm having a breakdown.
We're going to give you 10% for 500 million. Why? You're fucking idiots.
You're wasting your money. You're killing everyone.
We're moving on to our next piece of news, Shaun, and we are going to Florida. As a Florida woman who gets pulled over tells deputy, "You sound like my ballet coach." As she begins to dance.
Okay. Okay, fine. Let's go with it.
A Madeira Beach woman ended up in handcuffs after trying to impress a county deputy with pirouettes during a field sobriety test following a car crash. According to an arrest report, Amy Harrington... Hang on. Amy's got to have some Irish in her somewhere. Amy Harrington?
Amy Harrington. Like, Northern Irish, maybe? Pádraig Harrington.
Amy Harrington.
Yeah.
She had rear-ended another vehicle along Gulf Boulevard shortly before 10:30 p.m.
Okay, in the evening?
In the evening. A deputy responding to the crash said Harrington had slurred speech, glassy eyes, and was unsteady on her feet. The affidavit also states that the deputy smelled alcohol at Harrington, who refused to provide a breath test, which still confuses me why they're allowed to just refuse.
I mean, yeah, I suppose if it's required and you're like, nothing to hide, I suppose. Could you refuse one? Because I think the way it happens is that if you refuse it, they'd bring you to like the station and test your blood, I think is how they do
maybe,
it.
Maybe something like that. In body camera video, the deputy can be heard giving Harrington explicit instructions to walk along the yellow line. When asked if she understood the directions, Harrington said, yes, but added that she thought the deputy's instructions were ridiculous. The video then shows Harrington using a yellow traffic light as a stage as she performs a one-woman dance show ranging from ballet to an Irish jig.
There we go.
Told you.
That's our jig. You called that straight away. Fair play.
Amy Harrington.
Has to be.
However, the deputy giving her the field sobriety test was not amused. When deputy asked Harrington again to walk along the yellow line, she threw her hands up, said, "Oh my God, you sound like my fucking ballet coach," before breaking into another dance.
It's a bold move because there's a lot of coordination required for a dance. So you're really gonna let them know if you're drunk, like if you mess up that pirouette. You say that,
but I don't know if there's a lot of coordination to drunk dancing.
Not to drunk dancing, but she's not drunk, Connor.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but I would say if she is drunk, I think dancing is a lot smoother a transition than walking in a straight line.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Not that I would know, but absolutely.
Amy Harrington gave deputies quite the performance as she started doing the Irish jig again, and then she started doing hip-hop dances, and basically the officers are just looking at her while she breaks into all of these dances.
Did you ever do Irish dancing in school?
No.
We had to do it for a while.
No way.
Yeah, I did Irish dancing. Also, once in PE, we learned the Soldier Boy dance and the dance from Thriller.
What a combo.
It's your classic 1-2 on a night out, you know?
Yeah, well, you got to hit them with the Soldier Boy. And then you're like, I'm losing them. Bit of Thriller.
God, it's getting a bit spooky in here, guys.
What was your Soldier Boy dance like?
Oh, there's a lot of just shuffling, and then you do the Superman, of course.
Yeah, it was a lot of Superman, mostly.
It's mostly Superman. If I remember one dance move from the Soldier Boy dance, Superman.
Isn't that it? That's the only move.
It's a lot of it, but you have to transition between Supermen. You know, you can't just be Superman and the whole time you'll get dizzy.
You gotta be Clarke Kent sometimes.
You gotta dress down, you know, you gotta be in your civvies for a bit.
Glasses on, you gotta work for the fucking Gillette. The Daily Planet, you gotta pick whatever news story you like.
Oh, fuck, I could update my Soldier Boy dance to where, like, I'm dancing, right, and then I take off my glasses, then I do the Superman. That'll work. That'll work on a night out.
Do you know what amuses me? There's people listening to this who don't know who Soldier Boy is.
That's wild. Like, Soldier Boy, biggest artist of the early 2000s.
Of 2005.
Yeah, I think you'll agree. Around about the time of, like, you know, where movies could do CGI but really shouldn't have. That's when Soldier Boy was at his peak.
He came out, he did Superman, then he left. And I think he probably did other things, but I mean, he made bank off that, and then he just said, "I'll talk to you after."
I mean, he made Superman money at that point.
Soldier
Boy, tell him.
So, when asked if there was any reason that she could not follow instructions, Harrington replied with, "Because you sound like my fucking ballet coach again." She could also be heard saying, "I just want to go home, dude. It is safe for me to go home. Please, I'm begging you." And then she says the magic words, "If you're going to arrest me, just do it now then."
I mean, and then they arrested her, right?
They arrested her almost immediately after she said those words.
Yeah, that'll do it. Like, don't drive drunk, though, is the moral of the story.
Would you like to know how long she was dancing for?
I want to say 2 minutes.
8 minutes. Oh. She was dancing.
Oh, that's too many minutes. That's a lot of patience on behalf of the police officers.
I mean, 8 minutes of dancing is a lot as well. I mean, you'd be blown up.
I'm trying to think of the equivalent. Like, say we got pulled over and we were both hammered. And while doing the sobriety test, we just started doing an episode of Weird News. Do you think that would work?
I think that would get us the death penalty.
And then we look over and it's like one of the listeners is the cop. And it's like, oh, great. Oh, this is perfect. You're still
Take
arrested.
Them away, boys. Throw in a key.
Delete their Podbean account.
No, not the Podbean account.
Take my family.
I don't even like them. Leave the Podbean account. We're finishing off this week, Shaun, with a Florida man who he had an adventure, and this isn't Florida man being dumb. This is Florida man having a journey,
a spiritual journey.
Florida man has arm ripped off by alligator, then gets lost in the swamp for 3 nights, survives.
No, he fucking didn't. What?
Did. Eric Murda didn't see the eyes gliding toward him as he swam across a Florida lake last month. Not until it was too late. Shaun.
Why would you get in the river or in water in Florida at all?
So, on the afternoon, Murda, who owns a business installing and maintaining residential sprinkler systems, had travelled from Palmetto to Parrish to shut off a system that had gone haywire. It took about 15 minutes. After he finishes, Murda decides to have some time. He has some time in his hands. So that afternoon, and decided to drive south into the country. Mm-hmm. On a lark, he turned down a dirt road he'd never been, and they decided to take a walk in the woods. At first, it was good fun, Shaun. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, but already I'm like, you've made so many poor decisions up to this
He'd
point.
left his cell phone in his pickup truck.
Why?
And soon got lost.
Why would you do that? That's rule 1 if you're in a strange location.
This is the start of every horror movie.
Yeah.
After a few hours of wrangling vines, grappling with bushes and losing battles to thorns, he said he was cut from head to toe, thirsty and exhausted. But he couldn't find his way back to his truck.
I was about to say, would he not just go home?
But he couldn't find his way back, Shaun. He was lost.
He's lost in a strange place with no phone, no food, no water, no light source.
So he's desperate by the time he reaches Lake Manatee. Murda knows that there are alligators in the nearly 1,200 acre reservoir, and the smart play was to walk around the reservoir. But he didn't want to fight through the foliage again.
He'd been cut too many times. He thought he would just hop into this, maybe clean water with all of his cuts and swim his way home.
That's the perfect crime. I crossed water to get here. I'm going to cross water to get back to my truck. It's the obvious play. It was dusk at this point, and Murda, who was getting increasingly desperate, decided to swim for it, taking his fight his way back to the dirt road once he did.
Okay, right. Not the best plan, but it's a plan nonetheless, so let's hear him out.
Murda thought it would take about 15 minutes to cross what he estimated was about a half a mile of water full of alligators.
Jesus Christ, man. I'm all for being confident in yourself, but you must know it's a death sentence.
At some point, well beyond that mark, well beyond the 15 minutes he thought it would take, Murda knew he was in trouble. Since they were weighing him down, he stripped off his clothes, work boots, pants, and a long-sleeved shirt. No need for them.
No.
Now naked, he started swimming the backstroke.
Why would you backstroke across the alligator lake?
Then, Florida man. Then he got a feeling that something wasn't right. He looked over and saw a pair of beady eyes coming right at him and knew exactly what that meant. He tried to swim away, but he lost that race after 25 minutes of already swimming.
Jesus. So he tried to was he still doing the backstroke when he tried to swim away?
I like the idea that he is. No, he started doing the butterfly.
He's having a nice relaxing swim.
She grabbed my forearm from the outside and snapped it back, Murda said. When he wrapped his left arm around it, the gator forced him under the water. It tried to drown me a few times. 3 times we went under. 3 times I popped back up. Then I got dragged under again. I had an arm around the gator had its mouth on my other arm, and I just kicked repeatedly.
Just kicking the shit out of this alligator.
When Murda made it back to the surface a 3rd time, that's when the gator did the death roll.
Yeah.
And took off my arm.
Just ripped it out of its fucking socket.
Ripped it. Yes.
That's horrifying.
He took off with his arm as well. So having lost an arm, but he also lost the alligator, as the alligator had got what it came for.
Had a bit of a snack and decided, no, that's enough for me now.
Murda made his way to the shore, where he slept as much as he could in marshlands, where he went to bed.
He just... fucking
tough old day.
It's just like, I'll think about this in the morning. It's too much right now.
Oh, I'd say that'll hurt now in the morning. But at the minute now, I'm just exhausted. I'm wrecked, so I am.
I always feel better after a sleep.
At some point, he said his arm stopped bleeding.
But was he like trying to like staunch it or like stop the? What a lunatic!
The next morning, he found dry ground and a tree. He climbed it, despite his once dominant right arm being reduced to a nub of exposed bone, mangled flesh, and a constant source of pain. He spent the next several hours shouting at passing airplanes. Sorry.
What are you at? Like, come on.
What is this plan? This plan is that you're going to climb a tree and shout at airplanes. I feel like they might not hear you.
Is the next paragraph that it worked though? Like,
no one noticed.
Oh, okay. Now I'm back on your side, Connor.
Eventually he realised he'd have to save himself. I've got to get going, he said, adding, you can't sit around forever.
Just this man giving like Forrest Gump style wisdom while his arm is bleeding out.
By the late afternoon, Murda ended up back at the lake where he'd lost his arm.
Lad. How is he still walking around at this point?
He tried to stay as close to shore as possible, but the overgrowth sometimes forced him into chest-deep water as he tried to work his way around the lake's edge. He's still going into the water.
You couldn't pay me to go in at that point.
At one point, he spotted something about 200 feet behind him, repeatedly popping up above and disappearing into the water. Alligator eyes. It scared the living daylights out of me, he said. This time, he escaped. Just barely.
Just barely. And then like his hand comes up and like waves goodbye to him from the lake.
As they waned, Murda found some concrete structures which gave him respite from the swampy marshlands. He got as comfortable as possible and had another sleep.
Why not?
Night. Murda spent much of the next 2 days sleeping, eating a few semi-tasty flowers and cupping his hand to filter as much dirt out of the marsh water as possible before drinking it.
I mean, at that point you got to take the risk, but still, Jesus, that's grim.
No wonder he's so sleepy. He's drinking all this dirt. He's
got all that E. coli inside him.
He kept trying to find help, even though moving through the marshland was difficult. The ground tore up his bare feet. Remember, he's naked, Shaun.
I forgot he was naked.
Making every little half step hurt. He had to fight through tall grass, all while naked. Thick foliage, stymied navigation, and Murda believes he was walking in circles a good chunk of the time. He used telephone poles to orient himself, and of course, there was his arm, which started attracting flies.
Oh, because it's decaying.
Yes. Yeah. The pain at this point, from Florida Man, was absolutely excruciating. I mean, I didn't stop screaming the whole 3 days. Screaming.
But in between screaming, I would take a lovely little nap and everything would be fine.
I'm having scream, 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 sleep, 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 scream, scream, scream. I had a bone sticking out of my arm, he said, and I was using my nub to push brush aside to get through it. I had to. You got to survive, man. The 4th day started out with more grass, more swamp. Battered and weakened, Murda didn't move much. When he did, he grabbed branches and dragged himself across the ground, much of which contained thorns. Remember, he's naked.
Fully naked.
More flies started buzzing around, and he waited to see some vultures basically take him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they must be circling. Like, they know what's coming.
But then, Shaun, 3 days in, 4th day of this adventure Florida Man has had, he comes across an old beer bottle sometime in the afternoon. People didn't stray far from beaten paths in the Florida swampland, Murda thought, other than him.
Yeah, so he's the exception.
One was close. The ground also started to get drier. He finally spotted a fence and a man, the first person he'd seen in more than 72 hours, from about 20 feet away. Murda yelled to the guy, who didn't seem to hear him. He was actually a pilot. Instead of reacting to Murda, he walked towards the driver's side of his pickup. "Oh, hell no, that's not happening," Murder recalled thinking. He sprang to life and hustled to the fence. "The easiest walk I had in 3 days. A naked man with one arm and a bone popping out of it.
Covered in blood and flies and cuts and bruises.
And shit.
Running out of the Florida marshland screaming at you."
The man, who was part of a group, came to Murd and stayed with him as someone with him called for help. He waited until paramedics arrived in a helicopter about 20 minutes later and flew him to a hospital. He recovered for 3 weeks, and nearly 2 months after the attack, he's still getting back to life.
Man, that's a fucking indomitable human spirit story right there. Just keeps
Florida
going.
Man.
That's a Florida man who, look, the only thing he did wrong was everything in terms of where he went and how he prepared to go, and that he didn't tell anyone he was going. But he fucking got out of it, didn't he?
He said at the very end, "Shaun, I had a choice. Do or die, man. I just couldn't find a reason to give up. That's what kept me alive. But there were no guarantees, man. There's no guarantees out there at all."
This man installs sprinklers for a living. He's not trained or built for this at all.
He's not Bear Grylls, but
No.
he did it.
He did it, and hopefully he never has to do it again, because he's only got one.
See, we never get Florida man being an idiot, but also a fucking hero.
It's a story about survival. It's not about, oh, Florida man did something weird. It's no, Florida man fucking survived this terrible
I'm pretty
thing.
Positive this could be a movie.
I think so. I think it absolutely could be. Who are we thinking? Who are we thinking for the role of
James
Florida
Franco
man?
again.
James Franco again. You don't think? What about Dave Franco? We give him a turn.
We'll get one of Dave Franco's arms off. Yeah.
Because I think Dave is more hireable at the minute as well. So,
Shaun, I think that's it for Weird News this week.
what a week of weird news, Connor. Would you like me to take us out?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Thanks everyone for listening to this episode of Weird News Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday with Hero or Zero, Monday with Movie Mondays, and next Wednesday with another episode of Weird News Wednesdays. Big thank you to everyone over on Patreon who continues to support the show month on month. We couldn't do it without you guys, and we thank you very much. Shout outs, of course, go to Róisín Chunky Lobes Palmer, Joe Burney, Ryan Technically Fine Evanson, Waffles loves you and hopes you have a good day, David Clarke, Shaun Chuck in the wash and it'll be grand Jamieson, Dominic, Anna Hjelmroos, Little Dicky, Funny Observation McGrew, Danny McLaughlin, The Fabulous Frogman, Sam, Michelle Browne, Michaela Doughty, Sackman41 and Buster. Thanks everyone for the support. You're absolutely amazing humans. If you want to join those fine people, head on over to the Patreon, links below. There is other ways to support the show then. There's the merch store, heroesforhire.ie/shop. Twitter is @HeroesForHirePod. The 4 is the number 4. Facebook is Detective Divilment's discussion group. Instagram is Heroes for Hire Podcast. And the best way to ever help out the show is to tell one human being that we exist.
Just the one, please.
And I think that's about it, Connor.
I think so. So I've been Connor Lawler.
I've been Shaun Meehan.